Listen, if you're watching this right now, stop what you're doing and pay close attention, because what I'm about to tell you could change everything about a decision you're considering making. There's someone in your life right now, someone specific, and you've been thinking about pulling away from them. You've been questioning whether you should create distance, whether you should finally let go and move on. But here's what you need to understand. October 14th is not the day to do that. In fact, it might be the worst possible day to make that decision. And I'm going to explain exactly why. This isn't just another motivational message. This isn't me telling you what you want to hear. This is about cosmic timing, spiritual alignment, and why the universe is literally screaming at you right now to hold on just a little bit longer. You know exactly who I'm talking about. That person whose name just popped into your head the moment you started watching this. The one you think about late at night. The one who shows up in your dreams. The one whose energy you can still feel even when they're not physically around you. Yeah, that person. Don't distance yourself from them on October 14th. And I'm going to tell you why. October 14th isn't just another random Monday on the calendar. It's a cosmic checkpoint. The universe has been working behind the scenes, arranging things, aligning energies, preparing both you and this other person for something significant. And if you pull away now, if you create distance on this specific day, you might be interrupting a process that's been months or even years in the making. If this message is already resonating with you, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop 777 in the comments. Make sure you stay until the end, because the most important part of this message is waiting for you there. Now let's talk about why this connection is so different from anything else you've experienced. When the universe places a real, genuine soul connection in your life, it doesn't just fade away because things get hard or because distance comes between you. If you've been seeing signs about this person, and I know you have, then there's a reason for that. Maybe you keep seeing their name pop up everywhere. Maybe certain songs remind you of them at the exact moment you need to hear them. Maybe you've had dreams about them that felt more real than your waking life. These aren't coincidences. The universe doesn't do coincidences when it comes to connections that matter. But I know what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, how do I know this is real? How do I know I'm not just fooling myself? How do I know this isn't just me being stuck on someone who's moved on? Let me help you figure that out. When something is truly aligned with your soul's path, there are clear signs you can't ignore. First, there's this deep sense of peace that doesn't make any logical sense. Even when things are confusing, even when you don't hear from them, even when everything looks like it's falling apart, when you think about this person, something in your soul settles down. The chaos in your mind quiets, even if just for a moment. Second, the universe confirms it in multiple ways, not just once, not just twice, over and over again. Through dreams, through numbers you keep seeing, through random encounters that feel way too perfectly timed to be accidents. When the universe wants you to know something, it doesn't whisper once and leave you guessing. It keeps showing you until you get the message. Third, you've grown because of this connection. The waiting hasn't been wasted time. It's been shaping you, teaching you things about yourself you never knew. You've become more patient. You've become stronger. You've learned to trust what you feel, even when you can't explain it. If you can see these signs in your own journey, then what I'm about to tell you is crucial. Don't distance yourself from this person. Not now. Not on October 13th. Because this is bigger than just feelings. This is about a soul contract, a spiritual agreement that was made long before you even met in this lifetime. I know it's been hard. I know there have been nights when you've laid in bed wondering if you're just wasting your time. Nights when the silence felt so loud you could barely stand it. Days when people who care about you have told you to move on, to forget about them, to stop waiting. But they don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. They haven't received the signs you've received. They don't understand that some connections go deeper than logic can explain. Maybe right now, you're in a season where there's been no communication, no text messages, no phone calls, nothing. You check your phone hoping to see their name, and it's not there. You wake up every morning wondering if today will be the day something changes, and it isn't. But here's what you need to understand. Silence doesn't mean absence. The universe is never absent, even when it feels that way. The quiet you're experiencing isn't punishment, it's preparation. Sometimes the quietest seasons are when the deepest work is happening behind the scenes. The stillness you feel right now isn't the end of your story. It's the space where transformation is taking place. Just because you can't see movement doesn't mean nothing is moving. Energy works in ways we can't always see or measure with our physical senses. And on days like October 14th, that energy gets stronger, more focused, almost impossible to ignore. You might have been wondering why this connection keeps pulling at you even when everything around it seems silent. That's because certain bonds aren't just emotional, they're spiritual. They're threads of energy that the universe refuses to let dissolve, no matter how much time passes or how many doubts creep into your mind. If you're feeling that pull right now, that magnetic draw back to this person, it means the connection is still alive. It's still active. And the universe still has plans for it. Think about all those moments when signs showed up out of nowhere. Maybe you had a dream about them that felt so real, you carried it with you all the next day. Maybe you were thinking about them, and then suddenly, their name appeared somewhere right in front of you. Maybe a song came on with lyrics that spoke directly to your situation at the exact moment you needed to hear it. These moments aren't random. This is the universe communicating with you. You're not making this up. You're not crazy. You're being guided. And every time you get one of these confirmations, your soul knows something your logical mind struggles to accept. There's something here that can't be ignored or dismissed. The waiting you've been doing hasn't been wasted. The challenges you've faced haven't been pointless. Every delay, every moment of silence, every test you've gone through has been part of preparing you for what's coming. The universe refines people in these quiet seasons because what's approaching requires strength, patience, and clarity. That's why, even on the hardest nights, your inner world refuses to completely let go. You might try to distract yourself. You might even convince yourself for a while that you're moving on. But then, the energy comes back. It calls to you, quietly but persistently. This is alignment, speaking louder than your doubts. October 14th is a reminder of this alignment. The universe uses certain days as markers, as checkpoints, as moments to pause and reflect. What have you learned since this journey began? How much stronger are you now compared to when you first started walking this path? These questions matter because they reveal something important. You're not in the same place you once were. You've changed. You've evolved. You're becoming the version of yourself who can actually hold what's waiting for you. And here's something you need to realize. This connection isn't only about the other person. It's about who you're becoming in the process. Every unanswered question has taught you to listen more deeply. Every delay has taught you patience. Every moment of silence has forced you to discover inner strength you didn't know you had. This is the work the universe does, shaping you, guiding you, aligning you with your highest path. So if you're hearing this message right now, it's because your soul is ready for the next layer of understanding. This isn't the ending. This isn't even the full revelation yet. This is just one step, one checkpoint in the unfolding of something much bigger. The universe wants you to pay attention because what's happening in the invisible realm is already shaping what will soon be revealed in your physical reality. There's a reason this connection feels different from anything else you've experienced. It doesn't let you go. It doesn't fade away like temporary attractions or surface-level relationships. It follows you through your days, showing up in quiet thoughts, in sudden memories, in unexpected reminders that bring them back to the forefront of your mind. That's not coincidence. That's resonance. Resonance means two energies vibrating in harmony, even when they're physically apart. And that's what you've been feeling all along. The universe doesn't allow this vibration to disappear because it's part of your soul's path. This isn't about obsession or attachment. It's about alignment. And when alignment is real, you feel it in your spirit, no matter what your logical mind tries to tell you. You've probably noticed how this connection shows itself in cycles. There are times when everything feels strong, alive, almost within reach. And then there are seasons of silence, of distance, of confusion. This rhythm isn't random. The universe often uses cycles to shape us, to build our trust, to teach us how to listen to more than just what we can see with our physical eyes. These cycles are part of your preparation. Maybe you've asked yourself, why does this have to be so hard? Why can't it just be easy? Here's the truth. Things that are genuinely meant for you are rarely handed to you without some challenge. The challenge proves the value. The waiting proves the depth. The struggle creates the strength that makes a connection sustainable in the long run. Look back for a moment. Think about who you were when this journey first began. Think about the insecurities you carried, the fears you had, the questions that kept you up at night. Now compare that to who you are today. You're not the same person. You've grown. You've learned to trust your intuition more. You've become more patient. You've discovered inner reserves of strength you didn't know existed. That transformation didn't happen by accident. It happened because of this exact process you've been going through. The universe doesn't just prepare the connection, it prepares the people in it. That's why both you and this other person have been going through your own individual lessons, your own challenges, your own quiet seasons of growth. You might not see their journey, but don't assume nothing is happening on their end. Just as you're being shaped and refined, so are they. And the beauty of October 14th is that it acts as a reminder that alignment is closer than it feels. Certain days carry a unique energy that brings things into focus. October 14th is one of those days. It doesn't mean everything will suddenly appear all at once, but it does mean the path is shifting. The energy is stirring again. The confirmation you've been waiting for is closer than you realize. Pay attention to how you feel on this day. Notice the subtle nudges, the intuitive whispers, the sudden thoughts that arrive without any logical explanation. The universe often speaks in quiet ways, but those quiet messages carry more power than the loudest noise. If you slow down enough to listen, you'll realize the guidance has been there all along. This isn't just about holding on to someone. It's about recognizing what's being built inside you while you wait. The silence has taught you resilience. The delays have taught you patience. The unanswered questions have taught you faith. in things you can't see yet. All of this is preparing you for what's unfolding. So today, instead of focusing on what you don't have yet, shift your perspective. Ask yourself, what is the universe teaching me right now? What qualities are being developed in me? How am I being prepared for the connection I've been hoping for? When you shift how you look at this situation, you realize that this hasn't been wasted time. This is sacred time, and sacred time is never empty. Sacred time is where the universe does its most important work in your life. October 14th carries its own unique frequency. On days like this, the universe moves energy in ways that heighten your awareness. The patterns in the sky, the cycles of the moon, the positions of the planets, they all mirror the inner work that's already happening inside you. I'm not saying astrology controls your destiny, but it does reveal the energy currents you're moving through. Around this time, the energy is pulling you toward reflection and clarity. It's as if the universe is asking you to pause and really see what's happening beneath the surface of your daily life. You might feel more sensitive right now, more intuitive, more awake to the signals all around you. That's not an accident. The planetary alignments create openings for your intuition to speak louder, for your inner knowing to rise above the noise of doubt. This is why thoughts of this person are so intense right now. The connection you feel isn't just emotional, it's energetic. And when cosmic energy amplifies, so does your awareness of that bond. That's why signs appear more frequently during times like this. Repeating numbers, unexpected encounters, vivid dreams. They're the universe's way of saying, pay attention. Something is moving. October energy often carries lessons about patience and alignment. It's a transitional season, bridging endings and new beginnings. Spiritually, it's a time when hidden truths start to surface. If you've been waiting in silence, this is when you begin to sense movement. Not always in dramatic ways, but in subtle confirmations that you're not alone in this journey. People who study astrology often describe this period as a time when relationships get tested, refined, or realigned. It's not meant to discourage you, it's meant to prepare you. The universe clears away what no longer serves you so that only what's authentic can remain. That's why you might have felt confusion lately, or experienced delays, or received mixed signals. It's not rejection, it's refinement. The energy is purifying what's false so that only truth can survive and thrive. So when you think about this person on October 14th, don't dismiss the intensity of what you feel. Notice it, observe it. Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What clarity am I gaining right now? Because the universe often uses the connection itself as a mirror, reflecting back the areas where you still need to grow while also affirming the places where real love exists. Remember, astrology isn't about predicting exactly what will happen. It's about understanding alignment. It helps you see the currents of energy, but you're the one who chooses how to move within them. The universe gives signs, but you decide how to listen and respond. October 14th is an open invitation to tune in, to recognize that the energy around you isn't random. It's guiding you toward what's already written in your soul. So if your spirit feels stirred on this day, it's because the veil between the spiritual and physical world is thinner. The signals are clearer. The universe is closer. Let that awareness sink in, not as pressure, but as reassurance. You're aligned, you're guided, and you're exactly where you need to be right now. As October's energy moves through your life, you might notice how your inner world feels more awake. even small details start to carry meaning. A conversation you overhear at a coffee shop. A sudden memory that surfaces for no apparent reason. A dream that lingers with you longer than usual. These aren't random occurrences. They're the universe using every possible channel to show you that alignment is happening in ways you can't yet see with your physical eyes. There's a reason October often feels like a month of testing. Astrologically, it's a bridge between seasons. It carries the vibration of both endings and beginnings at the same time. That duality can feel heavy, like you're being pulled in two different directions simultaneously. Should I hold on, or should I let go? Should I wait, or should I walk away? These questions surface not to confuse you, but to strengthen your ability to discern truth from fear. The universe is sharpening your intuition, helping you learn to hear your own inner voice above all the external noise. When you focus on this person, pay attention to what arises inside you. If peace comes, even when circumstances don't make logical sense, that's your guidance. If you feel a sense of expansion, even in the midst of silence, that's confirmation. The universe rarely shouts, it whispers, and that whisper often feels like a stillness in your spirit that can't be explained away by logic. October 14th holds space for reflection, but it also invites a specific kind of action. Not outward action, like chasing or forcing anything, but inner alignment, choosing to trust, choosing to stay connected to your faith, choosing to prepare yourself, choosing to nurture your own growth, choosing to trust that what's meant for you cannot pass you by. The universe responds to readiness. When your inner world is truly aligned, external movement begins to flow naturally. This is why patience matters so much. But understand, patience isn't passive. Waiting in alignment is an active, intentional choice. Every day you hold space for this connection in your heart, you're also holding space for your own evolution. You're proving that love isn't just a feeling. It's a commitment to growth, to trust, to faith in things not yet seen. Look closely at the patterns of your journey with this person. Remember the moments when you almost gave up, but then a sign appeared that kept you going. The nights when you felt completely empty, but then a dream reminded you to hold on. The days when silence felt crushing, but then a synchronicity reminded you that you're not alone. These aren't coincidences. They're markers placed along your path so you don't lose hope in the middle of uncertainty. And here's what the universe wants you to know. The alignment isn't delayed, it's developing. Just like the moon goes through phases, waxing and waning, but always returning to fullness, so does this journey. The energy rises, falls, and rises again. Each wave carries you closer to that moment of clarity, the moment when what you feel inside finally matches what you see in your outer reality. So if October 14th feels heavy, if it feels like questions are louder than answers, remember this. The weight you feel is evidence that transformation is happening. The intensity isn't punishment, it's progress. The closer energy moves toward full alignment, the more pressure you feel right before the breakthrough. That's why this day feels so significant, because something is shifting. Even if you can't put it into words yet, you can feel it. It's easy to think nothing is happening when all you experience is silence. But silence is never empty. Silence is the universe reorganizing energy in ways you can't measure with your 5 senses. October 14th holds this reminder. What feels like stillness is often the most powerful season of transformation happening beneath the surface. Think about your own journey. How many times have you wanted to walk away, only for a sign to show up that stopped you? How many nights were you ready to let go, only to wake up with a dream that made you hold on a little longer? How many times have you whispered into the universe, "Is this real? Should I keep waiting?" And then almost immediately, something small but undeniable confirmed that you're not imagining any of this. That's not luck. That's not random chance. That's the universe speaking to you in the quiet moments. Here's the truth. When the universe assigns a connection to you, it refuses to let it die. Surface-level emotions fade. Temporary attractions burn out. But true alignment? It stays. That's why, despite everything, this person still holds a place in your heart. No matter how much time passes, no matter how silent things get, their energy remains woven into your daily life. You can distract yourself. You can even convince yourself temporarily that you've moved on. But the connection always comes back. That persistence isn't weakness. It's proof of alignment. Now let's talk about why October 14th feels so significant from a spiritual and astrological perspective. This is a day when hidden truths begin to surface. The seasonal energy shifts. The planetary cycles create a kind of creative tension. And that tension pushes what's been hidden into the light. That's why your intuition feels so loud right now. Why your emotions seem heightened. Why thoughts of this person are impossible to push away. The universe is drawing your attention because something in the energy field is aligning. Astrologers often describe mid-October as a season of refinement, not destruction, but refinement. Relationships get tested, true motives get revealed, false connections start to fade away, while authentic bonds grow stronger. If you felt confusion during this season, understand that it's not rejection, it's clarification. The universe has been showing you what's real by stripping away what's not. That's why the tests feel so difficult. That's why the waiting feels endless. That's why you keep questioning whether you should hold on. Because in this space of uncertainty, the universe is preparing both you and the other person. Preparation rarely feels comfortable, but it's always necessary. You're not just waiting for someone to come into your life. You're becoming the person who's capable of sustaining that connection once it fully arrives. Notice how much you've already grown through this process. In the beginning, silence felt unbearable. Every unanswered text felt like rejection. Every delay felt like abandonment. But now, you're learning to see things differently. You're learning to interpret silence as space for growth rather than evidence of loss. You're learning to understand that distance doesn't equal disconnection. You're learning that just because you can't see progress doesn't mean nothing is happening. The moon teaches us this lesson. Half the time, we can't see its full light, but it's still whole. Its cycles remind us that absence doesn't mean emptiness. Just because you can't see the full picture doesn't mean it isn't there. October 14th carries this same teaching. Even when things look dim, energy is still moving toward fullness and completion. This is why the universe sends you signs. They're reminders in the moments when you're closest to giving up. A number sequence repeating on a clock. A song with lyrics that feel written specifically for your situation. A dream so vivid, it stays with you all day. These aren't random. They're confirmations that alignment is still alive, still active, still inevitable. Here's something important to remember. Signs aren't meant to replace faith. They're meant to strengthen it. The universe shows you glimpses, but not the whole picture, because faith is built in the unseen places. You're being trained to trust what your intuition already knows to be true. When you feel that inner peace, the kind that makes no logical sense to your rational mind. That's alignment. When you sense their presence in your energy field, even when they're physically far away, that's alignment. When you notice your own growth, your own transformation, your own increasing patience and wisdom, that's alignment. All of these are evidence that this connection is more than just emotion. It's woven into your soul's journey. Here's another layer to understand. The universe often brings the greatest clarity through contrast. That means before you fully experience the real thing, you might encounter imitations. People who look right on paper but don't feel right in your spirit. Connections that start strong but fade quickly without substance. Opportunities that seem perfect but collapse without any real reason. These experiences aren't mistakes or failures. They're filters designed to sharpen your ability to recognize what's authentic when it finally arrives. By the time true alignment fully manifests, you'll know it without question, because of everything you've already learned. This is also why your patience is so crucial right now. Not passive patience, where you're just sitting around doing nothing, but active patience, intentional patience. It means choosing not to chase, not to force, not to settle for less than what you truly deserve. It means allowing the energy to align in its own perfect timing. Every time you choose patience over panic, you're sending a signal to the universe. I trust the timing. I trust the process. I trust what's meant for me. And the universe always responds to that kind of trust. October 14th highlights this very lesson. It's not about creating distance from this person. It's not about forcing anything to happen. It's about listening to your intuition, to the subtle guidance of the universe, to the way your own spirit responds when you think about them. If your spirit settles, if peace comes, even when circumstances don't make sense, that's your answer. The challenges you faced aren't punishments, they're preparation. Every delay has shaped your character. Every moment of silence has built your resilience. Every doubt has trained you to lean deeper into your inner knowing. This journey hasn't just been about them. It's been about you, about becoming who you were, always meant to be, about stepping into alignment with your highest path and purpose. And maybe that's exactly why this message found you today. Because the universe knows you've been questioning everything. You've been searching for a sign. You've been wondering if you should keep holding on or finally let go. And here is your confirmation. What you're feeling isn't an accident. This connection has deep meaning. This season has divine purpose. And the energy of October 14th is amplifying everything. So you won't forget. So you won't give up right before the breakthrough. So on this day, pay close attention. Notice the signs. Notice how your body feels when you think about them. Notice the coincidences that aren't really coincidences at all. The universe is speaking in both big and small ways. And if you're still and quiet enough, you'll hear it clearly. This isn't the end of your story with this person. This is a chapter of alignment, of preparation, of deep inner transformation. The universe is closer to you than you think, and the energy surrounding you right now is living proof of that.